Hi winners! Look, welcome to Terry's Tips, guys. You saw the title, 5 steps to buy a car in your business name, guys. And I'm going to add with business credit. I'm going to drop a bar right here. There's more ways to do it besides just getting approved for a business auto loan. Stick around because in this video, I'm going to outline the benefits of buying a car in your business name. I'm going to outline the actual 5 steps, and I put it into 5 steps to simplify it for you so you can actually execute. And I'm going to drop some nuggets to the entire video, guys, to help you have better success. I'm doing this video right now because there's a lot of outdated, inaccurate information. I've done some other videos on this topic, but this is more comprehensive and updated, guys, okay? And I'm going to do my nugget at the end. So first, the benefits of getting a car in your business name. Guys, one of the very first things is tax write-offs, okay? And depending on if you purchased the vehicle or you leased the vehicle, depending on how much you use the vehicle, right? You can actually write off almost the entire vehicle, all the maintenance, everything that goes along with it, even like car payments, insurance, everything. Or sometimes you'll use the mileage method, which means that you're not necessarily writing off the entire car or depreciation or the car payments or even like the insurance. But depending on how much you actually drive the car for legitimate business use, guys, you can actually write that off. So disclaimer right there, I am not a tax professional. As always, depending on your state, depending on the type of business you are, depending on the type of vehicle it is, right? And depending on your use, how much you actually use the vehicle is going to vary. But hands down, if you have a business and you have a vehicle that you use for business, you have tax write-offs that you could be missing that are super beneficial, okay, guys? Now, another benefit of getting a car in your business name is obviously it's going to help you build up more business credit, okay? And so as you know, you're actually going through this process, the sole goal is to have your personal name, your personal social, your personal credit, and then to have over here your business name, your business EIN, and your business credit. And for the two to be completely separate because of, liability issues, also because you want your business to become like fully fundable where the business is funding the actual business. So getting the vehicle is going to help you kind of start to separate the two even more. Now, another benefit is obviously that when you buy a car in your business name, it now becomes an asset of your business. Your business owns collateral, which does what, guys? Helps you qualify for more business credit, guys. So there is a ton of benefits of getting a car in your business name. Now, let me drop a nugget right here. A business. This does not mean you have to be a full-time entrepreneur. This does not mean you need to have a multi-million-dollar business with like 3,000 employees. A business means you are incorporated and you have the intention to generate money. It's kind of like the loose, okay, IRS term. So all of you, okay, are business owners. All of you guys are doing something. I don't care whether you walk dogs, you do lashes, you do hair, you're a landscaper, you're a barber, you're a coach, you're an author, you're a personal trainer, you babysit, you bake. Everybody, whatever that side hustle is, that hobby is, you can 1,000% incorporate that, have a legitimate business, and go through the steps to buy a car in your business name. Okay, guys, so step number 1 is have a legitimate business. Now, let me tell you why this is step number 1, guys. Because some of you are like a sole proprietor or a DBA. That's not going to work for this, right? Because the sole goal is to separate it. And when you are a sole proprietor, that basically means that you are your business. So it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, right? Listen, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you guys. So you want to be like an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever. So incorporate your business, have your EIN, and be a legitimate business. Especially because, nugget right here, guys, for this process, a lot of the lenders will actually check your your documents against the Secretary of State where you are to verify that you are a legitimate business, to actually separate the two, and to sometimes give you guys financing that you don't have to be a PG for. Guys, again, you need to watch this video all the way through because I'm gonna drop some nuggets at the very, very end. There are some things that people have not talked about because everybody assumes it has to be an auto loan. And let me just say, pause. I've purchased multiple cars in my business name and helped thousands of people do it also. So this is why I'm going to teach you guys higher level. There's more than one way to actually do it. So have a legitimate business. Guys, you can do that right now and get that done within 30 days and still end the year with a car in your business name. Legit, okay? Now, step number 2 is to build business credit. Guys, you can't go from having 0 credit at all to purchasing a car in your business name and not do some of the steps. So what I'm going to say to you is that I'm not going to break down, like deep dive break down building business credit in this video because y'all want to just get the information real quick. But what I will say is that I'm going to pin in the description of this video, right, 3 videos that you must watch if you need to build business credit. One of them is how to build business credit in 10 steps. The next one is how to make your business fundable. And the third one is how to get a PAYDEX score in 1 day, guys. I have tons of videos. If you watch those 3 for just the business credit building portion, you will have the best comprehensive outline so you can go through these steps on your own, okay? So step number 2 is to build business credit, especially if you guys want some of the auto financing or if you want some of the other loans that will allow you to not be a PG, okay? Now, nugget right here. There is a rumor going around that you must be incorporated and be in business 2 years to get a business auto loan or to buy a car in your business name. False. That's why I'm doing this video, because there's more than one way to do it. Now, does it help if you've been incorporated longer? Absolutely. Does it help if you have a lot of revenue? Absolutely. But there are strategic ways to get through this. Nugget. I upload brand new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and this is a wealth building ministry. So I teach higher level strategy on how you can get to your goal in more than one way. Now, step number 3 is to check your personal credit scores. And I mean it, because depending on the type of financing and the lender, even if it does not go on your personal, even if they don't ask you to be a PG, guys, checking the business owner's credit, depending on how new you are, how much revenue you have, how much money you're actually asking for, is still going to be part of the approval process. Would you rather me fluff you or tell you the truth? I'm telling you the truth. So you want to have, honestly, a 680 and above, 700 and above is better, to be honest with you. There are some lenders, depending on the financing, like 650, 660. But just in general, guys, when you're doing something like this, the higher your credit score, the better. Step number 3 was to check your personal credit scores, your FICO scores. Try to have a 680, 700 and above. Now, step number 4. This is the curveball, y'all. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for it? Determine the type of financing and the lender. Now, pause. What do I mean by that? Everybody talks about how to get a business auto loan. I'm about to tell y'all something. I have multiple cars in my business name, and I did not get a business auto loan for any of them. Let me sip some water on that real quick. Guys, write this down. You can purchase a vehicle in your business name using a business credit card, using a business line of credit, using a business term loan, using a business micro loan, using business equipment financing, or using a business auto loan. Write that down. Right now, why am I telling you that? Sometimes you guys don't qualify for the business auto loan because, say, the lender really does say you have to be in business for 2 years and you've been in business for 6 months. But you built business credit because you follow me, you have a strong personal credit score, you're incorporated and fundable, and you qualify for $20,000, $30,000 equipment financing, $20,000 business credit card, $50,000 line of credit. Well, guys, think outside the box. This is the wealth building ministry, and y'all are wealth warriors. If the car you want to purchase is $20,000 and you get approved for a $50,000 term loan, guys, you didn't have to jump through all the hoops of actually getting the actual auto financing. All you did was look good on paper and got a business term loan and use that money to actually purchase a vehicle. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. There's more than one way to do this. So sometimes a no for a business auto loan is a yes for equipment financing, or a no for a business auto loan is a yes for a micro loan, which is anywhere between $5,000 to $50,000. So in this step, nugget, determine the kind of car you want and how much it actually is. And instead of being solely focused on a business auto loan, say, How can I get $20,000 in business credit? How can I get $15,000 in business credit, right? Depending on if you're getting a commercial vehicle or if you're going to be getting like, a Sprinter van or a box truck or an 18-wheeler. Like there's levels to this, right? And that's why I also said determine the lender. This matters, okay? Because if you're trying to get maybe pre-approved for like a business auto loan and you're using, your bank, right? So maybe you're using, your credit union or you're using PNC or Truist or any of these other kind of banks, lenders, right? You can get pre-approved and then go to your dealership, right? And purchase the actual vehicle like you would with a personal car, right? But some of the lenders for business credit are a little bit different, right? So for example, Ally, A-L-L-Y, write that down. There's a whole video on just Ally before, okay? So this is where the lenders like Ally, you cannot get pre-approved for them. You cannot actually go ahead in person and just apply online. For lenders like Ally, you have to actually go to a dealership that actually uses them and go through the process at the actual dealership. So nugget right there, guys. This is why in step number 4, I said determine the type of financing and the lender. The type of financing and the lender. The type of financing and the lender will determine how long you need to be in business. It will determine what the requirements are. It will even determine the type of documentation you need. For example, for a business credit card, you're not really going to need a bunch of bank statements, right? They're just looking at like your personal credit, your business credit. You guys can get big business credit cards that is enough money to buy a whole car, guys, and it's 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. Bars, okay? But if you're doing something like a business auto loan, you must show revenue. You must show revenue. Why? Because the lender wants to know that you have the ability to pay it back. Great, you have good credit that helps you get approved. But if you have great credit and no revenue, it's going to be a no. Got it, good guys. So determine the type of financing and the actual lender, right? And then step number 5, guys, is determine if you're going to lease or purchase. Lease or purchase. So for example, for lenders like Ally, the vehicle can't be more than like 10 years old, right? So it's depending on the lender, whether it's Ford or Toyota or GMC or whatever it is, or Ally, or if it's your actual bank, then they're going to determine how old the vehicle can be. They're also going to determine if there's different steps for commercial or if you're just using a personal, like regular vehicle for business use, right? And so determine if you're going to lease or purchase. Now there's pros and cons to both of them, right? Because when you lease the actual vehicle, the credit requirements are usually like a little bit more lax, guys, right? But there's mileage requirements. So if you know that for your business, you're about to run this car into the ground and drive a whole lot, you may not want to get the actual lease, because if you go over your miles, come on somebody, there's hefty penalties. Now, if you purchase the actual vehicle, you're not going to necessarily have, any kind of mileage requirements, right? But, you're not going to be able to get a new vehicle every couple of years. Well, unless you have a bunch of revenue and pay it off, right? But they're also going to look heavily at your revenue and heavily at, your credit. So there's pros and cons of both. There's even, depending on whether you lease the vehicle or whether you purchase the vehicle, guys, there's even different requirements as far as what you can actually write off on your taxes, right? So that's something, determine what's the best scenario for you and then dig a little bit deeper. Like once you pick the lender, look on their website, guys. Like they'll tell you, like, for example, back to Ally, because they're very, very lenient when it comes to this compared to some other lenders. They have an option where you can be a PG, right? So maybe your business credit doesn't matter a whole lot, but you have to be a personal guarantor. Or they have an option where if your business credit is strong enough, you have some revenue, you can get the actual vehicle without being a PG. Now, nugget right here. Do not lose your cool over being a PG, guys. It's not that deep, especially if you are a new business and new to business credit. That's reasonable. That just means that they're asking you, think about almost like being a co-signer for your business, right? That you actually have to be a personal guarantor because you may not have enough revenue, you may not have enough credit yet, you may be too new, you may have never used business credit before, right? And the only time it goes on your personal credit is if you default. So don't default. We ain't doing that anyway, right? And sometimes you have to be a PG maybe 1 or 2 times, and after that you won't have to be a PG anymore. Or if you're doing things like a credit card, a line of credit, term loan, depending on the kind of financing, you may not have to be a PG at all. Okay, so determining if you're going to lease or purchase and then actually go and get your vehicle. Now, I want you to be wise, right? When you go to the dealership, you're not asking, nugget right here, just the actual salespeople. A lot of people do not come in every single day to buy cars in their business name. It's not something that happens all the time. So if it's a dealership that has a commercial financing department, ask for that specifically, guys. or ask for the financing manager. I'm telling you what I know. I've walked several students, several mentees through this process, and they told me it was a little bit more documentation, a little bit more I don't want to say complicated, but it was a little bit more of a process to kind of hold the dealership's hand, right? Because they weren't familiar with people doing it all day long, okay? And you can even ask in advance, what documents do you need? Because many times you're going to definitely need your articles of incorporation, you're going to definitely need your EIN, and you're going to definitely need like bank statements if you're going with the business auto loan option. And you're going to need them nugget. For business credit, they are super strict about everything matching everywhere. Some of you guys have everything else is perfect, but your EIN has one name and address, your DUNS has one name and address, and your business bank account has one name and address. That alone, the address and name not matching everywhere, will deny you from many of them, no matter what it is. So nugget right here in this step, right, is to make sure where your how your business is registered with the state, with the EIN, your business bank account, and your DUNS. Make sure they all match exactly. If they don't, just correct it before you apply. Got it, guys. And for my nugget, guys, I'm trying to say it in like a nice way. When you're an entrepreneur, when you're an investor, when you're going through and trying to do something a little bit different, understand that somebody can't hold your hand through every step of the process. Now, what do I mean? We can outline things. You do like courses and master classes and all of those things, right? Even purchasing ebooks. Somebody's going to give you an outline and a summary, but it's still some things that are specific to you. Some of you are truckers, some of you are coaches, some of you are authors, some of you are personal trainers, some of you have a lot of revenue, some of you have a little bit of revenue, some of you have been in business for 3 months, some of you have been in business for 12 months. Guys, the goal is for you to become financially literate. That's the hack. For you to learn the information and you be able to determine and execute based on now your new knowledge. You being able to lay out a plan based on your needs, your goals, your priorities, your financing, your revenue, right? So the hack is that you absorbing this information and really learning it, and then you being financially literate and confident enough. Come on, somebody. Confident enough that you can now outline the steps that you need to do and just go through and execute, and then go ahead and get to your goal. Amen. Got it good? All right, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Have a super amazing day on purpose.